All right, so this is my brief overview of AP Classroom and how I use it to supplement my students' learning to prepare for the AP exam next month. So I'm here on my home page. I can tell because it says home. Welcome to AP Classroom. Um, Overall, so what I see is this goes by class period, right? So I can shuffle through each of my classes. I can see the different assignments that I've assigned, and we'll take a look at one of the assignments that I've already assigned for last week, and looking at the different progress and results of that assignment. So from here is where I'll shuffle through each class. I have 5 classes, and it shows the results and progress of the assignments that they've completed in that class period. So I'm going to go back to first period. Here is where it has the units. It's broken down by each unit, the different skill categories that are presented in each skill unit, the different skills, and questions that correlate to each skill. Um, Also, here, if you go to course, it'll take you to your teacher resources. Here for AP Lang, it just has the CED. But there are other courses like APUSH that have like other supplemental resources that would show up here under course. All right. So just going back to 5. Um, so unit guide again, that is if I want to look at specifically the unit that correlates here, it'll take me to unit 5 and what skill categories are presented, enduring understanding, essential knowledge, just so you have an understanding of what that unit is requiring you to do. Um, so let's say we want to start to assign an assignment, whether it'll either be a formative or summative. We'll go to question bank. It'll take you to the create page, so you can create an assessment on this page. You could do it by unit. If you do it by unit, it will narrow down the types of questions that you can ask. Like for here is unit 5. Once I start to add things like skill category, let's say I want to choose skill category number 7, it'll start to whittle down the questions, the types of questions. All right, if I add, let's say I want this to be a formative, now I'm down to 3 questions. All right, so if you just want to get a broad scope of questions for students to choose from, or you want a specific type of question to assign, then I would take the unit off, or keep the unit, or take the unit off, and you'll have 886, and you can just kind of go straight to it. Like, I want a free response question rhetorical analysis, since that's the only thing my students will be working on until the exam. So I just go straight to question type, free response question, rhetorical analysis, and then I have 48 rhetorical analysis passages to choose from.
It's
to
9
assign.
o'clock.
All right. So let's say I want to assign one of these. I'm going to assign this Alfred M. Green passage. I can preview it whenever this comes up. Can preview it, take a look at it first before I assign it. I can look at the different skills that correlate with it so I can get a good assessment on how they're mastering each one of these skills. I also know which skills to reteach after this assessment. So I'm going to add this. All right. So once I add this, I can name it FRQ practice. And I'm going to save that. Go to assign. When I go to assign, it'll take me to this page. It'll show me which class periods I can assign it to. And then I have these different options. Do I want to unlock it now? If I unlock it now, students can begin working on it immediately after I hit assign. But I'm not. I could choose to set a date and time, which is what I did last week. I set a time for Friday at 2 p.m. We did a live Zoom meeting where kids were writing their essays on Zoom in front of me, and I set a time limit. So the second that they open it, the time begins. So just to get them acclimated to writing an were reacclimated to writing an essay in a 40-minute time span. I could choose to assign this as a print test. If we were in class, I would assign this as a print test, print it out, pass it out to kids, and they would write it in class. Um, I could choose to use this secure lockdown browser where I don't, if they use that browser, they can't leave that browser during the time that they're taking this assessment. All right. So really quick, I'm going to look at so that assign is the same page we just left. I'm going to look at this progress. So this is the on-demand free response question. Number one is what I assigned the kids last week. Just looking at the progress here under progress, it'll show how many kids have completed it and how many kids still need to complete it. So I have 17 kids in first period. One has completed it. It's been scored. 16 others need to complete that, but it was a practice, so it wasn't a mandatory thing. Um, Four have completed in third period. 21 still need to complete it. Well, I still have one score to do in seventh period, but two completed in seventh period and 24 others, so on and so forth. Um, Here under results, you can kind of see a average of the kids who you've already scored from that class period. Out of the four kids who um, completed the assessment in fifth period, on average, they got a 4 out of 6. All right. It's a good way to see data and see, which class periods are struggling, which class periods you may need to hone in on and um, reteach certain skills. All right. So anything I've missed here, my classes, this is gonna make me re-sign in, but um, you can take a look at your classes, join codes, how many are enrolled, how many are taking the exam, based on who signed up for it back in November. Go back to class, AP Classroom. What am I missing? Progress checks is these are just each unit has its own progress check for free responses and multiple choice questions, which is just a composite of all the skills that you've practiced throughout that unit. You could choose to assign that in any type of way. Um, I would use that as like a unit quiz, if you're doing that. If we were in class, like I did progress checks like every 3 weeks, just to get an overview of the skills that kids learned and how well they did on those skills. But anything else that I might have missed, there's a tour that you can take. I'm going to post this link in the Slack channel for AP teachers. Um, there's a very long PDF of like an overview of AP Classroom as well. All right. That's my overview of AP Classroom. Reach out to me if you have any more questions.